one of the things I look at, so I always try to take a step back when I think about homeownership, and like what is the thought process of an individual, and why would they want to own a home, right? And so when you start to strip out the American dream, you start to strip out the narratives that we get told that everybody should buy a house, et cetera. You're like, what is the core competency, or what is the main thing that somebody wants to get from owning a home? And when I was thinking about it, I wasn't in the shower, but you know what I mean, kind of just daydreaming a little bit. I was like, okay, the thing that people are seeking is stability. And the home is a mechanism to provide stability. And the secondary aspect of the home is to potentially provide something that allows you to walk on further in terms of building wealth and equity, because that rolls all the way back down to stability. And so the emotional stability is extremely important because you have a place to stay, a place that you call home, right? You potentially have the financial stability, which allows you to build something that you can either pass down, sell, and then continue to move on. So you still have stability. It typically impacts, you know what I mean, schools, et cetera, because you're not consistently moving if a child is with you and you have a family. So it provides stability, and the likelihood that that individual is going to continue to learn better is high. So when you start to like strip away everything, it's stability and a sense of home. And that feeling in itself is a feeling of a met need. And your feelings dictate how you move. And when your needs are unmet, that causes anger, frustration, etc. But when your needs are met, you know what I mean, you're happy, you're engaged, etc. So when I begin to look at those things and the process, I'm looking at the core reason that somebody would even walk into said process. And for our culture, if we look at African Americans, there's been a lot of instability because baked into the system. Unfortunately, there's some things that has caused us to not always be able to stay level on the boat because it continuously moves and shifts. So when you look at home ownership, the first thought process is like, why would I want said thing? And I think that's the core of that, right? That stability in itself. And then from there, as you continue to walk through the process, or what the process is of home ownership, now it's beginning to touch on the different areas and the different things that you need in order to get to that end goal. So you need the realtor, right? And then you need the broker, and you need the developer or the previous homeowner, right? You need the loan officer, you need in the system, the loan originator, so forth and so on. And these are all of the pieces of the steps that you need. And unfortunately, even as I mentioned those out, so I made it real simple in terms of I just want stability. But then when I begin to piece it out and look at what are the steps to actually get there, there's a lot of steps. Also, over a period of time that's not condensed into 2 weeks. It may be, depending on the home, condensed into a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, depending on the market. And so that's when I think the trepidation and different things tend to creep in, because of how people think, and their thought process in regards to money, not alone, let alone doing something that they've never done before. But I just wanted to touch on that. I think the core reason that people even begin to step into said process is to have a level of stability that they don't currently have in their home, because that's beneficial to us as human beings.